Starting off is the 1981 Lakewood K223 second generation. Clearly has seen some better days, but still runs pretty good. It's been claimed as the out here fan that we use out here. It's a 3-speed. The logo is worn off, but it's Kmart. That'll help. And low speed. This one is really quiet on low. It's like silent. You can barely even hear it. McMillan motor. Back to high. And off. Oops. And now we watch the spin down. Not too bad. It's got some good oil in there. I don't even count that one over there. That's not even vintage. Over here, a Toastmaster model number 5359. 3 speeds. Maybe mid to late 60s. The cord was replaced at one point because it was frayed on me, so I just replaced it. It used to have a cord similar to those of my General Electric ones, which have the, here I can give an example, but it was black, and a black end, and it had the same kind of end as one of those, just black. Go back over to the Toastmaster. Our background, and we'll start up on high. And being it's metal blade, so it's pretty loud. We'll move it a little bit. I don't want to draft the cats. Let's start up on high. The grill tends to rattle. There's a missing screw. And then once it's on the lower speeds, it don't rattle. But this is probably one of the strongest running ones I have, believe it. This is not the paint that it should be. This is a layer of primer right now because I'm painting it again. The old was really worn out. It's going to be a nice gray color. Like similar to what is on the laptop, but a little bit darker. And medium seems to be the only speed where it doesn't rattle. And spin down. We're going to be sitting here for a couple, like 30 to a minute. And then there's this really weird thing. This is my mother's. It's like a tower thing. I don't like it. I like this thing. I like these a lot. Because they're certainly a lot more efficient. You can stick them at just about anywhere. And we're still spinning. One thing I do happen to like is how the blades are mounted. You got the set screw. That makes it so that these blades don't wobble and vibrate. And the motors are really nice looking too for this fan. And we're still spinning. And stop. Next, a Westinghouse Model 10 LA4. I got this from my friend's grandfather. He just gave it to me. They didn't want it no more because it didn't work. It was easy fix. It just needed oiling, and the gear, well, the gear you can't replace. It's pretty much shot. It's a single speed though. And it runs pretty good. And speaking of these types of fans, I might be getting a GE, the oscillator 10-inch with the 4 blades, 3-speed I think it is. Might be getting one of those from my buddy today, actually. So yeah, if this was oscillating, it would go to about there to about here. Other than that, it's still really nice. It's got one of them funny looking knobs on it though. But this one runs very nice. Yeah, I really like it. It's one of those where you can just set up and get a nice little breeze. Next on the list, a Knapp and Monarch All Around 2-speed fan. As you can tell, I ain't the original. I had to put this on there. The original metal handle was rusted and corroded away. So I just took it off. The one half was busted off, so you just had this little half of a handle, so you just grab it like that. So I just slapped that on there and it works. And it's 2-speed, start up on, we'll go high. God, I haven't oiled this thing in a long time. It still runs fine. It's just a bit louder. I should probably disassemble this motor. I haven't done that yet. Probably disassemble it, blow it out a little better, and oil it again. And low. This thing, it does have a pivot stand, but I didn't attach it right now. It's one of those stands where it goes below and then you just screw it into the side. And go to high. And then you spin down. This one has probably one of the best spin downs of all of them. I mean, this one's really nice. It's from the 50s. I think this one was actually made in 54. I actually forgot to say the date on some of them. That one's 1954 era. This one is 1981. That one is mid to late 1960s. This one is mid to late 50s. And then, like I said, that's from 54. Now on to my favorites. The General Electric. The one on the left is an F12W22 from 1967. The one on the right is an F11W22 from 1966. The one on the right I got first, it's mint condition. The one on the left, it's nowhere near mint condition. Got that one, it was left outside to just corrode and rust away by the neighbors up at the cabin because it quit working on them. But I repaired it. Runs. It's got some problems with it, but I should be able to fix it if I can get the right stuff for it. It's got a lot of rubbing in the motor. So we'll start with this one first. It runs, it's silent on startup. You can't even hear the thing. There's the, here. We'll turn them around. There's a couple comparisons I can show with these motors. This one does not run the best. Look at how the motor is shaped. There's a bit of a difference. I took them apart and it's as if the motor is sideways, but yet it's still screwed in properly. Like if you look here, that solid one, the completely one right here, this complete one, that one is not a solid on this one. That is an empty one. So for every solid one you see on here would act as an empty one on this one. That's just one thing I noticed. Turn them back around and we'll run them. Probably turn them a bit. Like I said, this one here is in mint condition. It's like there's not a mark on it. Flawless, and it runs just fine. So I'm going to go through the speed controls on this one first. This one doesn't run very good. It's a bit louder than the other one. Whoa, it's not doing the noise. That is nice. The bearings had a really loud, or back in the motor, it was making a really loud rubbing noise. It's not doing it right now, which is nice. And it seems to run just fine. And this is the one I rewired and redid completely. That's why the wire is just slightly shorter. That's where that one is super freaking long. I think that's like a 6.5, maybe a 7-foot wire. And this one is probably only like a 5-6 foot wire. So you like lost a foot or two on there. And this one runs at a little bit of higher speeds, but medium and high are the same. Oh, there it is. Ugh. I'm trying to fix it. This one is a different motor too. It doesn't have any of the plastic bushings in the motor. It's just got a fiber washer, then the regular metal washer, as where this one does, and then it's just got the C-clip and the what you call it, the where you put the clip on. It's further down in the motor. There's actually two spots where you can put the clip. So this one does not have those plastic bushings, and that's probably what's making that noise. This one, however, it's got two of those bushings, the thinnest metal washer ever, and then a regular washer, and then the clip. So that makes this one a little bit different, and it runs to perfection. It does not make any noise on startup. Anyways, that noise is the fridge. You can barely hear this thing. It has like no noise. And that one runs perfect. Not a problem with it. Even the blades are not even off balance. You cannot even see them move. This one is like literally perfect. And this is the one for my grandpa, on my mom's side. This one was at the cabin on my grandpa's on my dad's side. Half a second time delay in between the two, and we'll see which one stops first. Yeah, like I said, the one on the left is not running right, so it's stopping not too slow. Needs a lot of work. It actually used to spin as long as this one was, if not a little bit longer. But I guess that's just what happens when they're left out for 6+ years. But even though this one, mint condition, runs pretty nice, but it was used a heck of a lot. The shaded pole came loose on this one, but it was easy to fix. You just super glue it back to the inside. As where this one didn't have the noise at all, so it probably wasn't run as bad, but upon disassembling, the rotor had rust on it. But it was just super light surfaced. It was probably like the dripping stuff, the liquid rust. Like, you know, when metal gets wet, you'll sometimes have just the liquid. And it dripped inside the motor, and then on it you could just see it, and it just came right off with the file brush. And this one has no rust, it's mint. So, that's it. That's all of my vintage fans thus far. Two General Electric W22s, a Knapp Monarch All Around fan from 1950s. These are both 60s. 67 and 66. Westinghouse from mid to late 1960s. Mid to late 1950s, sorry. Mid to late 1960s Toastmaster 5359. And a 1981 Lakewood K223. Thank you for watching.